Okay, good evening all. Right, we're moving on with this boat. Got a torch. And, yeah, I've given that all the tops of these gunnels another coat. And yeah, because I left the dust on there to fill the gaps, I was expecting it to be, yeah, a little bit rough, but yeah, it's not too bad actually. And anyway, we'll give another light sand, put a fourth coat on that. I haven't come down over the sides as well as I would have liked. I've actually missed quite a lot of it. You can see. So yeah, because I was putting it on fairly thick on the top, concentrating on, yeah, keeping the sanding dust in those gaps in the boards. I've gone it on pretty thick, and yeah, sort of a bit runny around the sides of the gunnels. So anyway, it's no dramas. So I'm going to go over the whole thing lightly anyway, but yeah, it's come up pretty well. Got a bit of dust on it because I waited about 2 hours until it was touch dry. Then I was leaning over it. I've given all my seats another sand down. They've now had a third coat, and they're pretty reasonable. I don't know if I'll put more paint on them or not. I might just leave that. I'm actually concerned that I'm going to run out of paint again. I've already put a whole 4 litres of lacquer in here. And possibly what I should have done, I'm going to try actually, I'm going to get some wood glue, I'll thin it down with water, and when I get to do the outside, and I'll test it on a bit of regular pine timber first and see how it goes, but I'm going to try sealing it first because as you can see, it's just absorbed into the timber. That's only one coat, but we can see it. There's patches here where it's just soaked, even after the second coat, it's still just soaked into the timber. So it hasn't really left it glossy in any way. Yeah, so as I said, I'm going to try sealing it first. I'll test it on a bit of scrap timber and yeah, see how it goes. But yeah, we're getting there. I'll have this whole interior finished tomorrow, and maybe I'll flip it over. I've also begun, I'm going to make up, like on the previous boat, I'm going to make up a stand to fit on top of this so that I can turn it over and just, yeah, sit on the ground, sit on the trail, the trolley, whatever, and not have any of the new lacquer touching, no part of the boat touching the ground. And I'll deliver it that way too, then I don't have to worry about it covering it up or it filling up with water or any of that, because yeah, the bloke that owns it isn't actually living where it's going, so it might be a couple of months before he actually gets around to it, so I don't want to have to try and cover it up and get the water out of it and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'll take it upturned, deliver it upturned, it's no issue. But yeah, as I said, I've started making a stand. I use the rollick blocks, and unfortunately, like the previous boat had the rollick blocks evenly spaced, so I was able to just make a stand that just sat in the rollick blocks that can be removed easily. But on this, it's not going to support the boat because they're right up the front. So anyway, what I've started with, got some some bolts here, cut them off the right length. I've drilled some holes in them, that's for putting like split pins in them. And yeah, so they'll drop into the right holes like that. Split pin on the bottom so that when you turn it up, the whole stand doesn't fall off, it stays in there. And yeah, they'll be getting welded to these pieces of angle bar, like so. And on the top of the angle bar I can bolt some timber, so they'll be going. Yeah, they'll be dropping in here like that. Welded on, of course, yeah. Weld the angle bar onto the bolt, and then I can put a piece of timber across to the other one. And back's a little bit different. As I said, these middle rollocks are too far forward to support the back of the boat, so cut up these heavy pieces of plate. As I said, they're like 8mm. So, and yeah, I got to put some pieces of something on here, probably wood or something, so that it isn't going to damage the seat. So they're just going to sit in there like that. Once again, I think probably I'll tap a thread in there. I'll weld a nut on. Oh no, I can't weld a nut. I won't fit through. Yeah, I'll tap a thread. I'll just stick a bolt in there so that when it tips upside down, it doesn't just fall out. But yeah, same thing the other one. Drill a couple of holes in here. Have a piece of timber running across the other side, and then there'll be some more timber, 2 pieces running, yeah, lengthways, and yeah, that'll support the boat up off the ground, upside down. So, but yeah, so I'm starting to ready them because yeah, the inside should be finished tomorrow, so I'll be getting ready to tip it over. Having the frame too, once I get the frame on there, it should actually help in tipping it over, because I haven't balanced it very well on the stand, and yeah, it's definitely bottom heavy. When you can get it to easy enough to being on the side, but then it's too heavy to keep pushing it to turn it over. I haven't balanced it properly, so I haven't balanced it well enough. So having that extra frame up on top should actually help to turn it over. Anyway, yeah, in the meantime, I'm starting to, just can't do any more to the inside at the moment. Can't paint in here anyway, night time with the fire going, all the windows shut. So even if I was ready to finish the inside of the hull, I couldn't do it anyway, so I can open all the doors and windows. But yeah, I've started putting some paint stripper on here, and I've done 3 planks right up to here, and left it on too long. It's dried or something. Yeah, it's not coming off very well. It didn't sort of, yeah, like, yeah, it's only really like lifted the paint in a few places. The other thing I did too, I ran the flap disc on this and sharpened it. I did start up there using a wood chisel, but yeah, it's too rigid, and yeah, it's too easy to gouge the timber with it. Not like steel where you can just go at it hard, you got to be a little bit careful with timber that you don't gouge the timber. But yeah, it's not coming off terribly easy. And I did try when I was doing the transom, just sand this paint off, and it's real waxy. It just clogs your paper straight off. It's a muggle of a thing to try and sand. So that's why I went and got some paint stripper, but that's not working that great either. is getting off, but yeah, not as easy as I'd like. Anyway, this is yeah, from here to here on this board. I put a second lot of paint strip on there. It's only been on there probably 10 minutes or so. It does appear to be lifting it. See how it goes. Oh yeah, that's much easier. Oh, this is still wet. So yeah, I think that was half the problem. That, well, for one, it didn't bite into the paint that well, but I also left it 2 hours on here for 2 hours, which was too long, and it dried in the meantime. Yeah, if I got to get 2 applications of paint stripper, I've got a whole litre of paint stripper, but I'm starting to think that may not be enough. We have to go and buy more paint stripper as well. Yeah. For a boat that only needed a coat of paint, it's getting a bit expensive already. Right. So we've already used a whole 4 litres of lacquer, and that was the cheapest lacquer I could find. That was $106 at Bunnings. Some you got to use a proper marine lacquer. But some of them they $200-300 for a 4 litre tin of it, so. Yeah. Even though I'm not actually paying for it out of my pocket, but I can't. I still don't feel right. Charging the owner that much money for lacquer, so yeah. Like the thing too, this boat will probably be lucky if it ever goes back in the water. It's more likely to just be kept in the shed and maybe taken to a show occasionally or something, as an antique. So it's not like a boat that's going to be moored. Out in salt water constantly. So it definitely doesn't do to let it dry on there. Because this spatula's only mild steel too, it's probably already starting to go blunt. So I just ran the flap disc over the 2 edges and sharpened it up a bit. But I wasn't even sure if you could use paint stripper on wood. It took a little bit of research to. I want to say research, looking on YouTube. But it took a while to actually find somebody who actually made a video of using paint stripper on timber, But so you can do it. Anyway, it's going to be a long process. Hopefully I can get all this stripped off tonight. I said that's only 3 of the boards. We've got another 4 or something, 5 underneath. But of course then I've got to go over it with a sander. And there's no way I'll be able to sand these stains out I tried that on the top, even up, up around the gunnels here, and like that stain, it's like 4 or 5 mil deep. You can't rub it out, and like I sort of tried up there because you could get away with taking a couple of mil off the timber, but down here you can't. See, but this doesn't even have putty over the rivets, so because timber swelled a bit, but there's only a mil till you hit the rivets, and the heads of those rivets are only a mil or two thick anyway, so you can't go sanding the rivet down. So this is sanded over, and as soon as it touches the rivet, that's it. That's as much as you can sand it. So anyway, so that's what we're up to, and there'll be another video tomorrow. Hopefully I'll do one of the inside finished and the framework sitting on top of it. So right, thanks for watching. Bye.